Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 9, Chapter 4. Thieves or Masters. Man is wasting precious time, ignoring his status among all living beings, his equipment for the grand spiritual pilgrimage to divinity, and his one fundamental task, achieving liberation from the cycle of birth and death. The sages of the past have realized the value and dignity, the worth and responsibility of human life, and they have laid down the disciplines like the vigil and fast on Shivaratri day in order to inspire man and instruct him on the upward path to God. Shivaratri is a word that connotes the dual nature of man and his duty to discriminate between the higher and the lower. Shiva means jnana, the higher wisdom, the unifying universal vision. It also means the lasting, the timeless, and the beneficial, the holy, the auspicious. And the second word, Ratri, means darkness of ignorance, the blind pursuit of tawdry pleasures, the bewildering will-o'-the-wisp of sensory joys. It also means the transitory, the fleeting. It connotes the maleficent, the inauspicious, the sacrilegious. So, the message of Shivaratri is discriminate between Shiva and Ratri, the prana, life energy, and the body, the dehi, indwelling of spirit, and the deha, body, the spiritual and the material, the Kshetrajna and Kshetra, called in the Gita as Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of discrimination between matter and spirit. Relying on merely literal meanings of the words, people wait a whole year for this particular holy day to come in order to miss a meal and call it a fast, to miss a night's sleep and call it a vigil. In Sanskrit, the fast is called upavasa, and it means something far more significant than missing a meal. It means living with or living near. Upa means near. Vasa means living. With whom? Near whom? Near and with God. Upavasa means living in the unbroken, constant presence of the Lord. By Namasmarana, remembrance of divinity. That is the real fast, holding fast to Him. Understanding the main purpose of holy days, and Jagarana, vigil, means keeping awake, shaking off the sleep of the senses, and being fully aware of the light of love. That is the divine essence in all. It means shaking off the drowsiness and laziness and deep concentration in meditation and sadhana. Look at the word for the heart in Sanskrit, hridayam. It means Rudhi-yam, that is to say, the divine heart, the place where He resides, where He is installed. By vigilance and the practice of the constant presence of God, you must install Him in your heart and see Him as installed in all other beings as well. That is the main purpose of these holy days and the regulations laid down for their observance. Truth is the basic principle of the Godward life. It is emphasized in all the scriptures of man. Rama suffered exile in the forest for 14 years in order to maintain the spoken word of his father. Dharmaraja suffered exile for 12 years in order to keep up the word he gave during the game of dice. Harishchandra sold his queen and son into slavery and himself became the watchman of a burning cat, so that he might keep the truth. These are the shining examples of the lesson of truth which the mother teaches her every child in this land. These holy days must be set apart for the contemplation of these great ideals. Do not be false to yourself. The sages addressed all human beings as children of immortality, Amritasya Putra. But in spite of this definite assurance and the inexhaustible joy that can be experienced therefrom, man degrades himself into an Anarthaputra, child of falsehood, and starts wailing that he lacks this or that or some other comfort or contraption. Thieves who rob him of valuable treasures like peace and contentment, equipoise and courage are being honored as masters, while masters who ensure peace and happiness are treated with irreverence and disgust. You can bolt your doors and windows against thieves, but who can bolt the door against death? The thieves, lust, anger, greed, attachment, pride, and hate are honored as welcome guests, and the real well-wishers like tranquility and humility are shown the door. You desire to drink a sweet drink, but instead of sugar, you drop salt into the cup, imagining salt to be sugar. That is the state of man today. He craves for peace, but does not know how to attain it. The means he adopts do not lead him to the anticipated end. A large percentage of people who come to me ask me for moksha, self-realization or liberation, from the bondage of birth and death, grief and joy. But when I offer to bless them with the consummation of their wish, they do not come forward. They would rather have it 10 years or 15 years later. So all the thirst and craving are just a pose. It is a fashionable slogan, and nothing more. Man must be sincere. His word must be in conformity with his feelings. His action must be in conformity with his word. Resolve on this practice at least from today. Do not be false to yourself. According to the practice on such holy days, the Prashanti flag will now be hoisted by me on this building. The flag represents the spiritual victory of the sadhaka who conquers passions and emotions that drag him down. The sadhaka who cultivates love and equanimity that elevates him. So when the flag goes up and unfurls on the Prashanti Nilayam, you too must hoist it on your heart and unfurl it there, so that it may announce your spiritual victory. Prashanti Nilayam, February 15th, 1969. Do not calculate the length of time you have spent in the company of the Lord's name and exult. Calculate rather the length of time you have wasted away from that contact and repent. Have that name ever in your thoughts and you can brave any calamity. Sri Sathya Sai Baba.